Hey, what's going on, guys? So with the Master Grade Zeta Gundam Verka on the way and me making my way through reviewing the different versions of the Zeta kit from the 1.0 to the Zeta Plus C1, and then next up I'm going to be taking a look at the Zeta 2.0 before the release of the Zeta Verka. I figure for the next MOOC review we should do something Zeta related as well. This is an issue of Model Graphics that actually covers Gundam and Zeta Gundam and Advanced Zeta, so there's more than just Zeta in here. The majority of what's in here is Zeta. There's also some side story stuff in here as well, but I love these Model Graphics issues just because unlike the kind of monthly magazines, you don't have a lot of the extras, advertisements and stuff in there. It's all just awesome model kits, and that's what we're going to be taking a look at in today's video, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so obviously right there on the front we've got the AUG version of the Gundam Mark II. On the back here, the RX-782 Verka, the Zeta Gundam, and the list price for this one, 3,900 yen, so a little bit more costly as this is kind of just like your standard size. It's not really all that big. But the Model Graphics issues are usually a little bit more expensive. That's just kind of how they go, unfortunately. But in my opinion, very much worthwhile. There's just the regular cover. There's the dust jacket here, and on the inside you can see some of the other issues. One of these that I've previously reviewed here is this Zeon issue, and I just got the volume 2 of that fairly recently, so I will be taking a look at that one in the near future as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. And this is going in typical Japanese fashion where it's backwards for us Westerners. Some MOOCs go forward, some MOOCs go backwards. It just kind of depends on the publisher. These Model Graphics ones are usually backwards, I believe. But there's that Mark II and the Quell there in the background. The Mark II looking so crispy and sharp and clean there. That's pretty awesome. I believe that would be the Master Grade version 2.0 of that. But first, the RX-782 Verka. Always love to see the Verka. It was actually featured as the cover model kit of the previous MOOC review that we did, so that's kind of interesting. But this one is by Ken16W, a name that you guys should probably be familiar with. If you ever look at Gunpla on Twitter, you've probably seen his works on their amazing modeler, I mean, obviously. But yeah, really super sharp model kit here with this. And I should tell you guys that this kit, or this MOOC, does not cover like any tips or anything like that. I think there'll probably be a few work in progress photos here in between stuff, but it's mostly just finished model kits. So it's really just kind of like a showcase of really nice modeling works, not really so much of like an educational thing like the previous MOOC review that we took a look at. So yeah, just as I'm saying that, here we've got some different RX-782 stuff through the years, I guess from past issues of Model Graphics. There on the next page though, there is a lot of really nice work in progress photos here, so it looks like you can see just some of the different work that was done on just like adjusting the proportions and things like that. Some of the modifications that were done on the Gundam you can see right here, and the finished result. Yeah, it's so nice, very sharp. And always interesting to me when I see like really professionally done up finishes here of this particular Gundam or other ones, but especially with this one, I see it quite a lot, that they'll leave this seam line here on the lower leg. So I mean, like if you're gonna go through all of that work, and I don't know, it's kind of weird to me to leave that seam line because it's a pretty obvious seam. It doesn't really seem like it's part of the design there. It just seems like a seam that was not closed up. It's kind of weird to me. I don't know, but what do you guys think about that? Does it bother you? Here you can see it more on this one as well. So it's just kind of weird to me, honestly, just kind of like a little distracting just to the design, just because I know I can see like how well it's modeled everywhere else. Like it's so nice and clean and crisp. The colors are beautiful. Just the finish of it is so nice. And then to have that seam line there on the leg is kind of weird. But lots of great photographs of the kits here, as you can see. And I think this one in particular, we have probably more photographs than some of the other builds in the book, as we'll see. But there's certainly quite a bit here covering this RX-782 Verka. Now we're getting into the Mark II, and actually I'm just now realizing that if I go back, I think I missed that. Yeah, so this is actually a build from June of 2021. So this was one that was featured in the June of 2021 issue of Model Graphics. Right, I forgot that that's what they do for these books. These are model kits that have been featured in past issues, and they're just kind of highlighted again, kind of collected for this particular MOOC, because this one is focused on the Gundams of like the kind of original couple of series there. So this one, the Gundam Mark II here, is from April of 2022 for this one. And we got some cool stuff over here talking about different versions of the Mark II and different versions of the Quell down here as well, the MG, the HGUC, and then the P Bandai version, by far and away the best version, I would say, but the HG and MG are also really quite nice. Despite their age, they're still really quite good model kits as well. If you guys are fans of the Quell and don't want to fork out the extra money for the P Bandai version, either the HG or the MG also still good. But here we have the many different versions of the Gundam Mark II up there. And then again, just gets into a lot of really great photography here of the Gundam Mark II. So that's what's really nice about these MOOCs, and why I personally love having physical copies of these, just because it's so nice to just be able to just look at the photographs kind of like with your eyes. You're not seeing them on a screen. Obviously you could find like lots of these different photographs and stuff of these kits or similar kits around online, but I personally really like to have it just in a book that I can hold in my hands, and to zoom, I don't have to like zoom in with my fingers and it's just like zooming in on the image. I can just hold the book up closer to my face basically. So I kind of like it. But where are you guys on whether you prefer digital publications or physical ones? I really like these. So my collection of MOOCs is always growing, it seems like. All right, and here we have the Zeta Gundam, but this is based off of the HG Build Fighters Lightning Zeta was the base kit for this, and they kind of turned it back to more towards being just kind of a variation of the Zeta, which I don't know, the Lightning Zeta is, but they made it more Zeta-like and less Lightning Zeta-like, I guess would be a good way to describe it. This is from September 2018 for this one, so there's like the original kit, which I really like. I really like the HG's Lightning Zeta. It was a really cool kit. So this one is a really nice modification of that. And so again, here's like the lineage of different versions of the Zeta Gundam, or at least the 1/144 scale versions of the Zeta Gundam, I should say. HGUC, RG, HGUC Revive, and then a couple of different P Bandai HG variations there as well. So got some work in progress photos over here, a little bit about that, some of the modification. Obviously a lot of this just kind of kit bashing parts, I would guess, but some nice close-up images and then some nice larger images here of that. I don't know, I will say that with so much focus recently on the Zeta Gundam, just because like I said, the Verka is coming out and I've been reviewing the first MG, the Zeta Plus C1, and then the 2.0 I've still yet to do. The Zeta Gundam is definitely growing on me as of late, as it's never really been one of my favorite designs, but it's definitely growing on me a little bit, I have to say. All right, here we have kit review of the Rick Diaz brand new HGUC from 2021 January. So this would be the kind of 1.5 version of the HGUC kit, I guess, that came out. That was used here for the base of this. So there are some improvements made to the kit, and over here it's kind of showing the comparisons between the original and the updated version of that. So it's really cool that they did that, and it would be nice if that was available just as a standard release kit that everybody could get a hold of. And there's plenty of other HG kits that I think they could do that with, where they don't necessarily really need to, you know, design an entirely new kit from the ground up, but just make it kind of like a 1.5 type of thing, where they just make some updates to it. I think would definitely be very cool. What would you guys think would be a good one? Let me know down in the comments below. What do you think would be a good HGUC kit for Bandai to revisit? Not as a full-on like Revive or 2.0 kind of style kit, but just like a 1.5 version of it. What do you guys think would be a cool one? I think the Gelgoog maybe comes to mind. That would be an awesome one. Here we have the prototype Rick Diaz. Very cool, and in the best color scheme ever. Yes, the color scheme that just always works, no matter what the kit. This kind of light beige tan color with orange and white accents can just work on anything. I guarantee it. Any kit that you could possibly think of, try that color scheme out on it and it just works. There's the unpainted version, so just really cool. Always cool to see the unpainted assembled whip there, just so you can see all the modifications and everything, just kind of how it looks with all the different putty and primer bits and plot plate and everything everywhere. It's always cool to see, but this is really cool. I do have to say, I really like this version here. Prototype Rick Diaz, it's quite interesting. And it gets more interesting here on the next page with some modified parts here as sort of like a prototype GP02 kind of thing there, making some connection between the two, I guess. So that's really interesting. I do really like that. It's quite an interesting take on the design. All right, then we got the HG Build Fighters Zeta 2 based Zeta 2. So it's the Zeta 2 Gundam, but obviously based off the Build Fighters version of that, which again, it's kind of like with the Lightning Zeta. It's you know, very similar, just a few modifications. I don't know, just kind of a mix between the two, I guess, somewhere in between. But that looks really awesome. Another really cool design. I think I really like the massive high heels that it has. I know that's an aesthetic not everybody goes in for, but the high heels aesthetic works for me, and this one's really takes it to this, and this kit and this Gundam really takes that to the extreme. The Zeta 2 there, so really cool images there of that. And then we got the Gundam Mark III. This one was also a P Bandai kit. The HGUC version, there was the RE100 version, of course, which is right up there. That was just a standard release, and then we have the HGUC version, which I just not too long ago did a review of that kit, so that was a lot of fun. Obviously based off of the Tertium Gundam, I believe it was, right? Or was it the Seltsam? I think I may be getting them confused. I don't remember. I'm not sure, but this one is a really cool version of the Mark III. I've never really liked the colors of the Mark III, that kind of light blue color scheme. I definitely prefer it with this gray color scheme with the red accents. It looks really cool, I have to say. That looks quite nice. So a really nice version of that there. And then it's got the rifle. That would be the rifle from the Delta Gundam, I believe. This long one there in the center. So that's cool to have that gun. It's a really cool rifle design. Definitely. So, oh, there it is. Yeah, there's the Seltsam Gundam, and that's the Gundam Tertium. Yeah, and then the Gundam Mark III. So yeah, I was kind of, I had it. They were just kind of in a little bit different order, I guess, something, or maybe something like that. Got a couple more photos of that kit here, as well as some work in progress photos here. Just like, looks like mostly just some modifications to the proportions here and there around in the kit, but definitely a very nice version of that Gundam. And then we've got, speaking of RE100, we've got the gun cannon detector. Would be really cool if we would get an HGUC version of this, though. I really liked this version of the design, or this version of the gun cannon, I guess I should say. The gun cannon detector was a really cool RE100 kit. I really quite liked it a lot. I would highly recommend it to you guys. If and when it ever gets a reprint, and if you're able to get your hands on one, I would really recommend it. It's such a cool, unique kind of style to a grunt design. And then of course it has the folding down kind of penis stabilizer there on the front of it. It's funny, but you know, like, it works. It seems practical in real life, so sure, why not? But this is a really cool build of that. Then we got the Galbaldi Beta. This was another really great HGUC kit. I can highly recommend to you guys. I feel like a lot of people kind of passed it up because, I mean, it was nothing really that exciting or flashy by any means, but it was a great little kit. Just if you guys are HGUC model kit fans, or just fans of just kind of nice model kits with interesting designs. I do like how it's got like that tan color used for the manipulators. It's pretty interesting. So not like the full inner frame. You can see like there's some tan accents around on some parts of the frame. Anyway, just on like the joints, because it's an HGUC kit, so it doesn't really have much of a frame. But where there is frame showing, it's got some, it's just like a mix between gray and tan. But then the manipulators being tan is a nice little touch there. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, the one thing I didn't really care for that much about this kit was that the shield felt kind of, just kind of meh, just because it was just like two pieces there, and then just kind of very empty on the inside. The back side of the shield was very boring looking. But let's see, it doesn't look like there's any photographs really where you can see. I would imagine he probably did some work to the back side of the shield. It's kind of hard to tell. It looks like maybe he added some, oh, okay, you can kind of see it over here. Yeah, it looked like he built out the back side of the shield a bit. To kind of fill in that just kind of very empty looking space in the back of there, but that's a really nice one. Definitely an issue here for fans of clean builds. Nothing really in here that's weathered, but it's always really nice to see just the really sharp, fresh looking clean builds here, especially for this UC stuff. I really like it. Then based off of the Galbaldi, we've got the Gaz R and Gaz L. This was a set. I didn't pick up the set. Did you guys? It's kind of, I don't know, it's not really for me. I enjoyed the Galbaldi Beta well enough as an HG kit. I didn't really feel like I wanted to pick up this set. But did you guys? What did you think about it? I mean, it's basically just kind of variations of the Galbaldi Beta that have a kind of super shoulder part and then like the lance weapon. It's a cool concept. And if I remember correctly, these mobile suits, in the story, they came like with the Gemalk, I believe it was, right? They were kind of like the escort units for the Gemalk, if I am correct in that. I don't remember exactly, but that is one mobile suit that I would love to get a model kit of. I would love if it was HGUC or RE100 or something like that. I'm sure it would not be MG. That would just be too big because it's a fairly large mobile suit, I believe, kind of similar to like the O. if I remember correctly, if not larger. But the Gamok would be a really cool one to get a model kit of, definitely. Alright, and then we have the DJ. That was also a really nice model kit in both versions, the RE100 or the HG. They both kind of had really nice aspects to them, where the RE100 of course was more detailed. It looks more like an MG, but the HGUC was also really quite nice just for as an HG kit. It's not as detailed, but some people like that, especially for like a design like this. I feel like a less detailed one also kind of just really suits the design. And we got some more nice images of that, and then a Titans colored version here, and this one is actually weathered. This may be the only kit in the whole thing that's weathered at all, and it's only just kind of a little bit of weathering on there, nothing too crazy. But the GP04G Gerbera, this one is obviously the RE100 version because that's the only version of that. There is no HG. I gotta say, I don't particularly like it in the Titans color scheme. I know a lot of people try out the Titans color scheme on basically everything. I think probably like any model kit that you could find online, there's probably somebody that's painted it in a Titans color scheme, just because I know it does appeal to a lot of people. I don't know, it doesn't really do that much for me as far as like a color scheme goes. But I don't know, what do you guys think about that? I don't really like it. I definitely prefer the original color scheme of the GP04, more so than this recolored version, but I don't know, maybe let me know your guys' thoughts. It's interesting how it makes it look so much more like a Gundam Mark II though. Just obviously with the Titans color scheme it's going to do that, but just like the design, especially like the head and the torso and like the waist section, certainly looks very much like a Gundam Mark II. Maybe it's just the colors. But up next we have the Toadsritter. This was a really fun HG kit, a P Bandai kit, and this one is from 2021 August, by the way. But really cool kit, just with loads of gimmicks and everything. It has like the sub arms up on the shoulders, like the NCOMs there, and I think they had like a slightly different name for them, but they're a type of income there on the backpack. But really cool kit. It's a shame that it was P Bandai, because it's one of those where it was a completely original kit and of such a really cool, unique design that it's a shame that it's not more widely available. But very awesome kit. Can highly recommend it if you guys can get your hands on it. It's definitely worth the price because it's quite large and just has tons of stuff. So yeah, between all the different gimmicks and everything that this has, really awesome kit and really beautiful paint job. And really beautiful paint job here on this, of course. It looks fantastic, very nicely detailed, and it is a design that it does have a lot of detail in there. So that looks awesome. And then we got the Gundam 04, and we'll have the 05 in here as well, I would imagine, if we kind of fast forward a bit. No, actually it looks like it is just going to only be just the Gundam 04, interestingly enough. And this one is the HG version. So yeah, the MG versions of these are available, and usually available for a very affordable price. So even though the Gundam 04 and 05 master grade kits are pretty old, and they do have a fair amount of seam lines, the articulation is not that great, yada yada, but they're really quite nice kits, I would say. If you guys don't want to spend the money for the P Bandai HGs, the MGs are nice, I would say. Go for the MGs. But if you want a 1/44 scale version, if you want a little bit better version, yeah, the HG kits are nice. But I think the kit does look good in 1/100 scale as well, in my opinion. And it's just such a really cool design. I love the designs of the Gundam 04 and 05. Really cool kind of takes, and with them basically just kind of being variations of the Gundam Verka in model kit and just kind of in their design. I don't know, they just kind of, they work for me. I really like the designs of these, and the colors are awesome too. Just the white, and then like having the one in like the blue theme and the other one in the red theme, and then they have like the matching yellow accents. They're just really cool, and the weapons are really awesome on them. And now we're finally getting into some Advanced Zeta stuff. There's not going to be a whole lot of it, but we have the Barzam and the Barzam Rezion version here from the AOZ reboot. Again, these were P Bandai HG kits, so a lot of P Bandai in this book, or is it just the fact that there's just a lot of P Bandai in general recently? I think it's maybe a little bit of both, unfortunately, but again, really cool kits. Just the regular HGUC Barzam was an awesome kit, another one I would highly recommend for you guys. There it is right up there. But yeah, I definitely prefer the AOZ reboot versions because it's just kind of a bit more Advanced Zeta style anyway, right? I definitely prefer the aesthetic of Advanced Zeta over Zeta Gundam when it comes to just like the mobile suit designs and everything. But there you got the Hazels in there, and then we will see some more kit bashing here with these, I believe, on the next upcoming page. But there's the two versions of that, really nicely modeled. of those. And yeah, here we go with the shield boosters, and it looks like another custom armament over here. I'm not really sure what that is. That looks like that's parts from the Primrose, or from, yes, I believe that's the part from the Primrose, I think, right? But then it's got some other custom parts added to that over there. But that's quite cool. And yeah, this is really nice with the added parts from the shield boosters. That's pretty interesting. And then it's expanded out even more. So I think, so yeah, there's a few other different kind of custom parts added around on this that all look really interesting there. So that's cool to see. And I thought that there was one in here with the gigantic arms. There it is. Yeah, so finishing up the book here as we're getting right to the end, we've got the gigantic arms unit version of the Barzam, which looks quite cool. Speaking of which, the Hazel Auslaw with the gigantic arms P-Bandai HGUC kit is one that I will be reviewing for you guys very soon. This kit right here. So I've got it, and I've got it unboxed, and I just need to finish building it, and then I'll do a review of that kit for you guys. I've been waiting for this kit for so long. So excited to build that one, just have not gotten around to it quite yet, but almost. Anyway, here we have some more just advanced Zeta type stuff, and then Zeta with the HGUC Psycho Gundam down there, right there, which of course is where in canon, like, I guess what the arms come from, but for the actual model kit, it's actually new parts there for the arms, which is nice. So that's awesome. Alright, I think we got a few more photos of that here, which is nice to see kind of like the backpack. So if you wanted to build this yourself, it's kind of good for inspiration, so you can actually kind of see how that looks there at the back, kind of how it all hooks up together. And yeah, it looks pretty awesome. Gotta love it. Alright, there's a few more images here at the back of some other issues of Model Graphics you guys can check out. This other one here that covers more about Zeta Gundam is another one that I have that we'll be doing, I think, probably in the near future, if not the next MOOC review, but the one after that. So we have some more Zeta goodness for you guys, for you Zeta fans. Again, with the Zeta Verka on the way, I want to do a lot of Zeta stuff so that we can kind of get all hyped up for that. But for now, guys, that was just a look through this issue of Model Graphics. What did you think? What were some of your favorite builds from this issue? There's a lot of really good stuff in there, I have to say. As a UC fan in particular, there's a lot of really great models in there, and also as a fan of clean builds, I really like a lot of the stuff. If you're a fan of weathered builds and like weathered stuff, not really too much in there for you, but hopefully that was interesting for you guys. Thanks so much for checking out the video. If you want to check out some of the model kits for yourself, not the MOOCs unfortunately, but the model kits themselves, paints, tools, supplies, all that good stuff, you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. We got all that good stuff there for you guys, just unfortunately can't carry these MOOCs, sorry to say. But if you are interested in picking up some of these MOOCs for yourself, I would highly recommend it. Like I said, I like having the physical copies. I would highly recommend it. They're just really nice to have on hand and really great for inspiration, motivation, all that good stuff. So thanks for checking out the video today, guys. Like, subscribe, comment, let me know which were some of your favorites. And then I think there was a couple other things I talked about along the way. Kind of let me know what you think would make a good HG 1.5 type of kit, etc., etc. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.